Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's David Hodge. Welcome. All right, brothers and sisters. We're headed to the time of unprecedented trouble. This is a time like no other, and never will there be. A time of intense darkness. A time where life as you know it will change forever. Things that you are doing will not be the same. Things that you think is important will not exist. These things will change drastically in the blink of an eye. Life as you know it is going to be turned upside down. And that's why we are here to reflect the light for this time of unprecedented trouble. Because this light will be the only thing that will guide and assist you out of this dark, intense time, brothers and sisters. All right. Well, I'm sure if you're paying attention to what's taking place in the Middle East, the ceasefire is fragile, it's weak, it's under pressure, it's about to collapse. Now, they want this negotiation to go well, but we know it's not. As of now, it's fragile, weak, extremely unstable. There's active activity with the U.S. in Iran, even with new military incidents in southern Iran. The U.S. launches new strikes, which they claim is self-defense. Strikes on Iranian mine laying boats and missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. They claim that these strikes were meant to protect shipping routes and U.S. forces. However, these actions are proving exactly what we have been sharing. that this ceasefire is not going to last. And this possible deal for the Strait of Hormuz is about to fail. They want it to reopen. They claim that they want a 30-day peace agreement signed. They want Iran to begin clearing naval mines and stop charging transit-related fees under this proposal. Iran says this deal is not finalized. Iranian officials has denied reports that a final agreement is close. Tehran says major disagreements still remain over the sanctions, nuclear restrictions, Israeli military actions, and regional security demands. Now, while this is taking place, you have false Israel in the background expanding Lebanon operations. Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, says that Israel will intensify strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon, fighting along Lebanon border continues despite ongoing peace talks and such agreements. So the military operation with all this peace talks still active. It's not slowing down. Even though they're talking this, talking that. It's still a lot of fighting back and forth and tension in the Middle East. And things are about to go very bad here soon, brothers and sisters. It's about to get worse. Let's take a look at what's going on.
Our fingers are poised directly upon the trigger, ready to initiate the fourth battle, as well as the fourth round of suppression.
A deal that was never truly alive is now officially dead. And both sides are not just walking away, they are loading up. The United States and Iran are back at the edge of open war. And this time, the signals coming from both capitals are leaving very little room for doubt. Let's start with Iran. Senior Iranian official Mohsen Rezai did not mince words. He said, and we quote, "Our finger is on the trigger for the fourth battle."
Here today, as I address this pressing issue within our current situation. While on the one hand, our fingers are poised directly upon the trigger, ready to initiate the fourth battle, as well as the fourth round of suppression.
Let that land for a second. The fourth battle. Not a negotiation, not a warning, a battle. But Rezai went even further. He called this the final stage, saying that 47 years of confrontation between Iran and the West is now heading toward a conclusion, one that he says will secure Iran for the next 50 years.
We have arrived at the final stage where the collective efforts of these entire 47 years will, by the infinite grace of God Almighty, reach a destiny that will guarantee lasting security for our nation of Iran for the next 50 years.
That is not the language of a country looking for a compromise. That is the language of a country preparing for something decisive. Now here's where it gets even more alarming. Two sources directly close to Trump's negotiation team have confirmed that the US president is now completely backing away from the Iran deal. Not stepping back, not pausing, completely backing away. The reason? Extreme internal pressure from Israel and its domestic allies in Washington, who were pushing Trump hard not to accept Iran's terms. And then, Trump made his position crystal clear. Not through a press statement, not through a diplomat, but through a post on Truth Social. He posted an image of a Mark 84 bomb mounted on a fighter jet with his now iconic catchphrase stenciled directly on the bomb itself. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That is not diplomacy. That is a message, and the message is a 2,000-pound bomb. Iran had already warned that the agreement would be completely canceled due to what it called ongoing U.S. obstruction on key clauses. That warning has now come true. The deal that never fully existed is now publicly, loudly, and dangerously collapsing. But it does not stop at Iran. Washington is now also turning its attention to Lebanon. The U.S. State Department put out a pointed statement backing the legitimate government of Lebanon and warning that Hezbollah's threats of violence and attempts at overthrow will not be allowed to succeed. The statement went further, declaring that the era in which a terrorist group held an entire nation hostage is coming to an end. Read between the lines. The U.S. is not just preparing for a confrontation with Iran, it is expanding the frame. Lebanon is now being pulled into the equation. So where does that leave us tonight? Iran's finger is on the trigger. Trump is posting bomb imagery. The deal is dead, and Washington is signaling it wants to clean house across the entire region. The Middle East is not on the brink. It may already be over it.
All right, brothers and sisters. So as you see, that diplomacy, that peace agreement, those negotiations, they're not going as planned. And as we explained, there will be no deals, no negotiations. There's no turning back from what's about to happen. There's no stopping this time of unprecedented trouble. And we know exactly how it's going to turn out. We know who's going to be victorious during this time. And it's not the ideal party that everyone is thinking. Because the world is structured around the idea that false Israel is the true seed of Abraham. And with that, people have their money on false Israel because they think and believe that those are God's chosen people. Well, they're in for a rude awakening. because they're not with God. They're against God. They don't even match this covenant, or not the covenant, this vision of horror that the true seed of Abraham will go through. They're not who they claim to be, which will be made manifest soon. That they're Satan. The angel tells you exactly who they are. It says, I'm giving out of the synagogue of the Satan. Are the ones saying themselves Jews to be, and not they are, but they are lying. And the blasphemy, which is a lie, are the ones saying Jews to be themselves, and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan. So it's clear who they are. They're Satan, brothers and sisters. The ones who have synagogues. They're Satan. The ones who call themselves Jews, claiming to be from the tribe of Judah, claiming to be original. Says they're not. Says they're Satan. So they're against God and his people. And the world's about to find out that they're imposters. And they're about to find out exactly who's with God. And those with God, it's going to be Iran. And how do we know? Because the angel tells us. We're at that time with Michael's and his angels versus the dragon and his angels. Now, who's Michael? Well, that's Master Farad Muhammad. That's the God of this time. And his angels is Iran and Syria. Now you see, Iran is on the scene, standing strong, standing firm on what they believe. And they're not backing down. And it says Michael's angels was versus the dragon's angels. Now, who's the dragon? The dragon is the house of Sod. The false apostle, the false apostles. The ones claiming to be Sunni Muslims, but they're truly not. They're Hindu. They're from the Hindu tribe, which American Britain was, right. They set up these individuals to insure them with cheap oil. They set them up over there to, right, make sure that they can get access to oil. So the point is, the dragon is the house of Sod. And his angels is American Britain and false Israel. So we know exactly what happens. We know that Michael and his angels are victorious during this time. And how do we know? Because the scripture tells you in Revelations chapters 12. It says, and not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to err, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown, the dragon, into the earth, and the angels of him, America, Britain, false Israel, were thrown. So that is the very outcome of the war. That is the life-changing event. Michael's and his angels are going to take over the Middle East. The House of Assad, America, Britain, will be defeated. American Britain be kicked out of the Middle East, which isolates false Israel. Just puts them in a situation where their destruction is near. And that's another thing. That's not supposed to happen, right? That's an abomination. It says when God placed them in their land, they're not to be uprooted or removed. Right? So if that happens, then that means that they possibly couldn't be who they claim to have been. On top of not fitting this description here that the true seed of Abraham would go through. So this event is not only going to send shockwaves through the planet, it's going to have it's going to change your life as you know it forever. America will no longer have access to the oil in the Middle East, which will lead to energy crisis here. Life as you know it will start to slow up or slow down. Things that you're used to will not be accommodated. Gas is higher. You're going to get way higher. Food, rent, jobs going to become scarce. No job opportunities, no side hustles, no nothing. Things are going to start drying up. Flights are going to go up. Traveling is going to be blocked. Things as you know it are going to change forever in a negative way. Then eventually, there will be a total economic collapse. Famine here in America. And that's the whole thing. That's something that's unprecedented. That has never happened here in America. No food, no water, no oil, no gas, no electricity, no electronics, no cars, no transportation, total economic collapse, severe social unrest, people freezing, in the dead of winter, not having energy for heating. In the dead of winter, at its coldest time, there will be no more America. No more American dream. which was fake, is coming to an end. Everything that you are witnessing in the Middle East, all the destruction, the chaos, the killing women and children, the starvations, the blocking humanitarian aid, and the constant destruction and disruption, and people people being displaced, and constant chaos. Well, all these things are coming here, coming to America, but much worse than anything you can picture, anything that you can imagine. It'll be worse than any world wars, any Great Depressions, severe recessions, Holocaust, any mass murderings, anything that you can imagine, even the black men and women of America's experience, which was total and complete utter horror. It's going to be worse. It's going to even be worse than that. And during this time, it says men's hearts will be failing them from fear. Failing them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, coming here to America. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Which we know, that's the authority and power switch. When American Britain, the House side defeated, American Britain's kicked out, and false Israel's under siege. That's the power switch. New authority in the Middle East. Says that men's hearts will be failing them from the expectation, meaning the anticipation, meaning it hasn't happened yet. They're just looking at what's coming, and they're having heart attacks. Individuals will be falling out while they're driving, operating heavy machinery, getting caught up in machines, falling out, running into things, coming out of the skies, pilots coming out of the skies, hitting buildings, hitting houses, hitting mountains, going into the waters. People are going to be falling out at restaurants. People will be collapsing everywhere. Millions of men's hearts will be failing them from fear. Of what's to come. It says that they will bring darkness, not light. This is for the enemies, brothers and sisters. In that day, you will be like a man who runs from a lion only to meet a bear. escaping from the bear. He leans his hand against a wall in his house and is bitten by a snake. Yes, the day of the Lord will be dark and hopeless, without a ray of joy or hope. Says that it will be a domino effect of bad news. People waiting for things to resume, get better, hoping for the best, waiting for reassurance that reality will resume and things will get much better, but it won't. It's a back and forth, back to back. I'll say, with bad news, right after another. A constant report of bad news. Things never getting any better. Says that men will walk around as if they were drunk, but hadn't had anything to drink. Says during this time that children will be gray-headed, which you've never seen. Meaning that that child will be under intense stress. Why? Because during the time there won't be any food, won't be any security, protection, shelter. And during this time, a child couldn't depend on their parents because they're running from them. Because it said the most tender-hearted man won't have compassion for his wife or his children. It says that a woman would give birth in silence to eat the child in the afterbirth. But as you can see, this is why the child is gray-headed. Because during this time, their parents are going to be trying to eat them. There won't be any food, brothers and sisters, for the enemies. So they're going to resort to cannibalism. So on top of all the destruction and chaos, says that they resort to cannibalism. Some will starve to death, but death never comes. Like I explained, before all this, they'll be eating rodents. They'll be eating poop, rats, roaches, cats, anything crawling, moving around. They'll eat their children before they eat their pets. Then eventually, they'll eat their pets. Not to mention, they'll be eating all disabled and mentally impaired people. The elderly, the ill, the hospitalized, the retirement. After eating all the insects and rodents, babies, defenseless people, they'll still be suffering. So they'll be so healthy that their bodies will heal themselves during intense situations, like getting their skin ripped off and getting new skins. They'll be so healthy that they'll revive themselves. regenerate during this time, only having piss to drink and feces to eat, on top of having the urge and sex drive of rabbits, which never ends, while eating one another. And with all this being said, all that's happening, there's still going to be an invasion here. China and India, 200 million man army. So they're going to come over here while they're going through all this, and they're going to make them miserable, treat them like animals, torture them, torment them, do all the things that they did to us. All right? They're going to be doing the unimaginable, putting them to death and taking them to captivity. Right? Putting some to death and taking some in captivity, making them slaves, putting them through affliction. The consequence, brothers and sisters, it didn't go away. And that's why it says, come out of her. Come out of America, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, her consequences, the actions that they have made has caused them to have negative consequences, so that you will not receive any of her plagues, meaning that they got stuff on the way that you want to be involved in. For America, her sins are piled up to the heaven, meaning they have their foot in every nation. They have their foot in every situation. It's even to the heaven. They have it. And it said, in God has remembered her crimes, her consequence. Give back to her as she has given. Pay her back double for what she has done. Pour her a double portion from her own cup, her own doing. Give her as much torment and grief as the glory and luxury she gave herself. In her heart, she boasts. America boasts in her heart, I sit enthroned as queen. I am not a widow. I will never mourn. Therefore, in one day, which we know equals 1 year, her plagues will overtake her. Death, mourning, and famine. No food, no water, no hope, no gas, no oil, no electricity, no electronics, no day-to-day life, no more kickbacks, no more entertainment, no more social media, no more distractions. It says that America will be consumed by fire. For mighty is the Lord God who judges her. Fall of America. America's going to be burnt up, never to be a nation again. Going to be nuked. American dream is going bye-bye. It was just a dream. It was never real from the beginning. in this time of unprecedented trouble will be hopeless and dark. This tribulations will be intense. Tribulations for us. This is a makeup test for our nation, our brothers and sisters, the black men and women of America. It's going to be intense, severe, and extreme for the enemies, because there's no hope for them. It says this day will be dark and hopeless without a ray of joy or hope. No escape from death, mourning or famine, complete destruction. And as it explains, it says, come out of her. What's the vision of, right? And where do you go? Right. For them, they don't have any second options. They're out of options. But you, brothers and sisters, you have a second option, which is to leave America. Prepare yourself to get out of here, going through the tribulations, and getting out of here. You have a second option. Tell you what God has in store for you for going through all these things. It says, come out of her. It says, in that day, God made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So between those coordinates, the river of Egypt and the river Euphrates, you have Arabia, Great Arabia. This is our vision of horror, which confirms again that we're still leaving when it says, come out of her. It says, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners, temporary, in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 1619, 2019, 2020. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That's 2020. Came in right on time. The plague, bam. COVID-19. Said there's going to be more plague. Right? They were dropping like flies. Said pass over those with the lamb's blood. It was talking about those who were original, like the lamb, the messenger of the covenant. See? Joshua the Messiah had to have the same blood as him, which we, the black men and women of America, had the same blood as him. And so was our brothers and sisters, that the Africans as well. That's why they sent that virus over there, killed those presidents, sent the jab and all this stuff over there to try to kill off try to kill off blacks, so it wouldn't feel like so it wouldn't feel like they were the only one being affected. That's how you knew what was going on. They knew exactly what time it was in. However, that nation they judged. I judge, and afterward shall they, talking about us, come out. So we'll come out with great substance. But thou shalt go, we're leaving. Go to thy fathers in peace. Unlike Israel, they're not at peace. They're supposed to be at peace. They're supposed to be in the land of, they're supposed to be in Arabia. But they're in Palestine. You see how these don't fit the description or nothing? They never went through 400 years or nothing. They said they was never enslaved. They was never slaves to any man. They said they're never in bondage with it. They've never in bondage to any man. So they never went through 400 years of anything. The Holocaust was only less than 10 years or so. And that was at the hands of their own people. Said we were in a foreign land, right? Well, they claim to be the Israelites from Egypt. So they went from Egypt to Palestine, but that's not foreign, that's next door. You see how they don't fit? They fit nothing. But that's not the focus. The focus is we coming out. We're coming out with great substance. We're going back to their fathers in peace. They shall be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation, they shall come here again. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full. Come here again. Talking about this land. From the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Great Arabia. So this is our vision, brothers and sisters, which says the people out of vision will perish. So they make sure you don't have it. They make sure they keep blocking it. They make sure they don't read this to you because they hate you. And how do you know they hate you? Because they changed you. And how do you know how much they hate you? From the degree of how much they changed you, or the percentage. They changed you 100%. This means they hate you 100%. And the fact that they loved you, they would have kept you the same. They didn't. They changed you 100%. Took everything from you, stripped you of all knowledge. Took your names, your culture, your religion. Took your language. Took everything from you, gave you their names. So they want you to be destroyed along with them. And that's why they're not telling you about your vision. Because they want you to suffer just like them. They want you to go down during this time. They don't want you to escape from the judgment that they're trying to escape from, which they can't, because it's due to them. And that's another point. When all this takes place, they're going to attack all blacks. Why? Because their ideology is under attack. The world is structured around the idea that false Israel is true seed Abraham. So if that collapses, then that means you rise up, because that's the thing that's keeping you down. They're the ones in control of your image. Hollywood, just torching your image, making you out to be bad people, homosexuals, pimps, whores, uneducated savages, fools, dummies, punks, whatever. They're the ones creating that image. And they're the ones investing in your destruction. 100%. So once they're removed, not only in this, they've stolen your identity, right? Claiming to be you. And once they're removed, that means you rise up. Once they're trying to prevent you from rising up. They knew that this day would come. They feared that you would lead the country, join the enemies in war, and fight against them. You see? So they're going to attack all blacks because the ideology is being attacked. It's about to collapse. And it's about to be shattered. Right? That's what's keeping you down. So now they're rushing. They had to rush at you and attack you before false Israel is destroyed. You can't allow that to happen because then, right, like I said, you rise up, they go down. They can't allow that to happen. So they're going to attack us. That's when it says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, know that the destruction is near. What's the capital? Jerusalem is the capital of what? Who controls Jerusalem? False Israel. So it says, when you see false Israel surrounded by armies, know that their destruction is near. Not salvation, not their redemption, their destruction. And that's when it says, when you see this, it says flee, go, run, because they're coming to attack you. It said, don't hesitate, you'll lose your life. It said, don't go back to get your child. Don't go back to get your baby, which stamps the seriousness of this event, how intense and severe this event is. You can't even go back to get your child. So during this day, you hope that your child or your children are with you. Because you say if you hesitate, you lose your life. You can't even turn around and go get them. Because if you do, you'll be dead with them. This is a moment where you have to save your own life. You have to go. Don't turn back. Don't look back. Don't go back to get nothing. Water, charger, food, nothing. Not your own children. Which is intense. And also during this time, let's not forget that there won't be any food. So all those things that I named, about to eat their children, their pets, their this, their that, this, their that. Well, who do you think they're gonna put on the menu first? Who do you think they hate the most? What do you think that push you during this time? You think you're in the clear? You'll be the first one on the menu. Because let's not forget that you're still 3/5 of a human or a person. However people get their pennies in a bunch about that. You're still ruled as that you're not human. They put you in the conversation that you're not human. You're a percentage of a human, which means that you're an animal. So it means during this time, they'll classify you as food and justify eating you during this time by law. That's what's going to happen here for you, brothers and sisters. There is no hope here for you. Things are not going to get better. They're only going to get worse. And the situation that you're facing is not a good one. They're going to eat you. They want you to go down with them. So they'll reach out from their grave. Meaning they'll take you with them. They want you to suffer the same consequence as them by associating yourself with them. That's why we're telling you, separate. Complete separation. Invest in yourself. Invest in your vision. And here's your vision. Invest in the Abraham covenant. Get the hell out of here. Prepare yourself to get out of here. Remove yourself. Remove their mindset. Remove their mind from your brain. Get rid of their mind and upload your mind, the God mind, the Injil, the unsealed scriptures, the guidance and light for this time, the information that you need to be successful. You also need your pillars, the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, which is your protection against evil, all evil, and your power to go along with your protection. Energy, time, discipline equals power. Gives you that way they don't have any control over you. You're in control, managing your energy. All these things will put you in place to get out of here. That's what the tribulations is for. It's a makeup test for us, brothers and sisters. Getting you prepared to go home. The kingdom never lasts forever. Said it'd be perfect. And you can't go there with the devil's mind. So you got to get rid of the devil's mind. Upload your mind. You got to be ready to go back in that condition. Because if you take hell with you, then you won't be making paradise. You'll be making hell in paradise. A paradise become hell. You take America with you. And you can't come in that condition. You got to be purified. So this is a purification process that you'll be going through to get the impurities off. So you'll be going back in the oven until you're done, till you're 100%. So wherever you are during this time, that's how long it take you to bake or to complete. So if you're 80, you need 20% to complete. 70, you need 30. 60, you need 40, so on and so forth. Until the process is done, you will not return home until then. So that's where when you had to do all these things, we had to come together, which that attack on all blacks is going to help us uniting, because everybody's going to rush and run together, because that event is going to cause our unity. But then we need to get to the point where we're all in the spirit of the NGO, getting this information, Hodge, working together, working towards the same goal, getting the heck out of here, having no interference, no conflict, no confusion, having the understanding of what's going on, the same understanding, might be a different perspective, long as it's long as the point is 2 plus 2 equals 4. And if somebody come up with 1 plus 3 equals 4, that's fine. 2 times 2 equals 4, we're good with that. You see? 4 plus 0 equals 4. We're fine with different perspectives, as long as we're all headed to the same place. You see? As long as the fact remains the same, we're good. But we're getting out of here. Said we must work together during this time, while we apply the five mathematical pillars of Islam and use our roadmap out of here, which is the mind, the engine. That's what we need to be successful during this time, brothers and sisters. So you have to choose to invest in yourself, invest in your vision, invest in getting out of America, because the enemy has nothing but destruction for you, because that's all he has for himself. He is in herself. There is no hope here in America. There will not be in America. This place is on fire. It's about to burn. It's burning up, and it's about to collapse to the ground. And we know the way out. Your covenant. This is your doorway out. And we're saying, come on, let's go. Come on, come on. It's about to collapse. Let's get out of here. And you're gonna have people trying to convince you everything's fine. Don't worry about that. Worry about this. Generational wealth, reparations, 6 states, 7 states. What about investing in your future here in America when there is no future? It's about to collapse. I mean, anything that you invest in this will collapse and burn up, including yourself. So don't listen to those individuals that's leading you the wrong way, because they mean you no good. Those who are not telling you about this and about the covenant, telling you about America, it's going to be burnt up. Telling you that there will no longer be any America. And we're getting out of here. People that's talking about staying here, and they're not talking about complete separation, they're your enemies. Whether you like it or not, they're your enemies. So don't let them confuse you or distract you from getting out of here. That's what it's about, brothers and sisters. Us getting out of here and going back home and getting the reward that God has in store for you, which is better than any reward that anybody else can give you. All right, brothers and sisters. Thank you for listening to me. We'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.